Welcome to the Positively You podcast. I'm your host, Jessie Larson, and I'm passionate about helping you shift the way you think so you can create a life you're absolutely obsessed with. Each week, I'll be bringing you a guest or a thought that's going to help you feel more optimistic and equipped to take real action. Get ready to push past limiting beliefs, ditch that negativity, and start showing up as the best and most positive version of you. Girl, let's do this. Welcome back to the Positively You podcast. I'm your host, Jessie. Welcome. I'm so happy that you are here. So today I want to rewind a little bit to a couple weeks ago, not even the 1st of November, but the 6th of November, I believe was the day that I told you I was committing to this whole month of podcasting. It was called National Podcast Post Month. And the goal of that was to podcast 30 podcasts in 30 days. And there's this whole group of podcasters that do it. I think it started like 15 years ago. And I talked about this back on November 6th in that episode, saying this has been going on. I'd had my eye on it for a couple years and I really wanted to participate. And this year I felt the itch to do it and jumped on late and did not do all 30 days, obviously. However, I want to talk about this because I'm not counting that as a failure. And I'll tell you why. Number one, I jumped in with no pre-plan. So we can talk about that too. We can talk about a whole bunch of things. I think there's a huge lesson here because sometimes we have a goal we want to do and we jump in really quick without a lot of planning, without a lot of structure around it. We just say, this is the goal and I want to do it. I see this a lot of times with fitness. I see a lot of people saying like, I'm going to start 75 hard tomorrow. And then, you hear from them for a week and you never hear from them again. Or I want to read, 52 books this year or 100 books this year. And they jump in, they read one book or two books and kind of keep it up. And we jump into these goals because we're excited at the beginning, but we don't put any structure around it. We don't put any accountability, any follow-up, anything like that. So that was a huge lesson for me because I know this about myself, and it's just been a reiterated lesson that I get to learn again now. How important it is when we are making goals to not just jump in, and that we really need that support and that structure around us. We need to kind of have a plan. We need to know, when am I going to accomplish this? How am I going to fit this in? Who is helping me? Who is holding me accountable? Where are there like checkpoints that I need? Are there check marks? Are there, what things do I need in place before I jump into this goal that's going to be able to make me successful, right? So that was something there that I had where I was like, I'm just jumping in and just going to go. Now, on the flip side, I'm happy I jumped in because I talk about this all the time about not an all or nothing mentality. I don't count this as a failure because I did podcast more in the month of November than I did previously. I did put out some more. I was definitely conscious of it. I was aware of this goal. I was thinking more about the topics that I could have or the guests I could have on and what I would need to do. Now, I didn't put the structure in place that I needed to be 100% successful, but I wasn't 0% successful. And I think that that's important because so often we hold ourselves to this high standard of saying it's all or nothing. So I could come at you today and say, I completely failed at podcasting in the month of November, when that's not true. I did not. I put out 9 podcast episodes in the month of November. Now, typically I put out 1 a week, so that's 4. So I not only more than doubled my regular posting schedule, I put 9 really good podcast episodes out in the month of November. Now, the goal was 30. So yeah, I fell short. But I think we need to give ourselves credit here when we do jump in with a goal to give ourselves credit for the things that we do accomplish. We don't do that enough. And I'm not trying to give myself like a cop out or a freebie or a get out of jail free card here or whatever. I think there's a level of holding yourself accountable to the goals that you set, but also realizing and taking into account why you didn't accomplish those instead of being mad at myself and saying, Jesse, you said you were going to do this and you didn't do it. I can say, okay, correct. That is a fact. I did say I was going to do 30 podcasts this month. I did not do that. Fact. Now, why? Why did I not do that? Is it just because I'm a terrible person and I lack follow through and I suck at being committed and all of these things? I could really like fall quickly into that shame spiral and get down on myself and be like, see, you always do this. You can't commit to anything. Or, right, I can take a look at what I just said and said, well, Jess, yeah, you didn't accomplish that because you jumped in late. You didn't have a plan. You didn't have accountability. You didn't structure your time. Now, that's nothing wrong with you, right? We're not like coming at us as a person. We can say these are the things that happened that hindered you from that goal. However, look at what you did accomplish. Even without a plan, you set an intention and you did accomplish some of it. You didn't hit 0%. You also didn't hit 100. There is a middle there. And I think a lot of times we miss that middle. We're either not doing something or we completed it at 100%. So I really want to share this because it's been on my mind, obviously, as I've been thinking about what I did and didn't accomplish this month. And I know we're heading into December, but January is right around the corner. And that's when we're setting our goals for the next year and all of these things, which I have some really awesome things coming for January and all of 2024 that I want to talk to you about, but I'm trying to put some structure around it right now so I don't just jump in. So this is actually a really good lesson that I learned in the month of November. This might have been something that I really needed for me personally. And I find that whenever I learn a lesson that I need personally, I like sharing it because it seems that other people could benefit from that and maybe not have to learn it the hard way that I had to. So, think about the goals that you've set. And if you haven't necessarily given yourself the credit for the things that you've accomplished, and then really dive into why you didn't accomplish them. And if those are things that you can fix, and I'm willing to bet that there are things that you can fix and change and put systems or strategies or people in place to be able to help you to achieve those goals in the future. So that's it. That's it for today. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Be proud of yourself for what you're accomplishing. Make sure that you are not discounting the efforts that you put in, but also not using that as a get out of jail free card. I think it's a really good time for self-reflection, for self-discovery, for understanding, where you maybe set yourself up not for success and how you can shift that and how you can change that. So it's all good things. There's no failure. I don't feel like there's any failure here. There is information, there is learning, and there is growth. And if I can take those things into account, I can do better next time and know that going forward, if I have these big audacious goals, like podcasting every single day for 30 days, that I probably need to put some things into place to help support me there. So that is the message for today. I hope it touches you. I hope it inspires you or encourages you. And if there is something that you've maybe been feeling like you didn't accomplish, and this has shifted your thinking a little bit to be like, hey, wait a second, I maybe did 10% or 15% or whatever. It wasn't 0%. And you want to share what that is. Come let me know. I love chatting over on Instagram. So hit me up over there, positively.jesse, and let's move into this next month. And I will see you next week. Thank you for hanging out with me again today. I'm so glad you pressed play. If you want to take a quick second to share this episode with someone you think would love it too, that would be amazing. If you're loving the show, make sure you go and leave a review on iTunes. Reviews are like magic for podcasts, and your review will help get this show into the ears of more amazing women just like you. And come find me over on Instagram. I'm there at positively.jesse, and I cannot wait to hang out with you some more. So until next time, have an amazing week.